Hustling, trying to make ends meet, painted within me, facing for cold with the end, big money, I'm trying to stack plenty, hoping my real niggas bitches are making it with me, hundreds and twenties, hoping my hustle can copy a Billy, don't see it real me, but a chick that don't care about Louis or Bentley, forces are heavy, offend me.
So yeah, they offend me, I'm having dreams while I'm on the bills, that's why I might just be talking the field, I follow the gangsters, so ask out the bill, your bitch love me cause I keep it so real, I think that good and put all on the grill, then I proceed on my mission for meals, say my name 3 times and I shall appeal.
The streets that got me physically stressed, man, mentally got me like what the word physically cleaning like I was instantly with the mind to a whole government. I like the Kennedy, too much your energy hating on me cause I'm coming up technically as of iniquity. License up pimping it with some prostitute trick on the tendencies, homie, you feeling me?
Hold on, let my nigga call 10 niggas be passing me just like an offering, hustling in the street like I be starved, be stressing cause I live a life of bargain, but you won't get my dreams like an abortion. I got too many hits I am supporting, so to the game I can never divorce it, smoking these haters with my brain of fortune.
Drowning some Hennessy, whip up the remedy to make these foes and these traitors remember me. Killing folks literally, and I make Jesus Christ sentence me. Heaven to hell is still pending, please making it out as an entity. Crashing factory, my nigga, you feeling me? Father, shoot you anything that's a villain. We do anything just to cope with the misery.
Guaranteed to make you niggas remember me. All these ones hating cause they bitches killing me. Peel your way back like it's a banana. Be kill on competition, that is a strategy. The night he dead, damn, it's such a tragedy. That's the result of how I move rapidly, breaking them down, and I do it so casually. That's why I do your bitch shaking it back.
If you knew the truth, could you handle it? My stuff, family, men, not women, is scandalous too. Sometimes you examine it, now I feel like the analyst. A lot of bull in the game, and I couldn't imagine it. Niggas is missing this passionate bitches are playing with niggas all just to keep up with the fashion shit. Now tell me it ain't accurate.
These bitches stocks and most of them raggedy. So tell me why you want Instagram tagging me. That must be why you live your life so rationally. Weeping and crying, talking about what's happening. Feelings are hurt and heart is in agony. Bitch, you know cut those, so why you get mad at me? I'm taking my case for a side bitch, so hoe gon' get at me.
That shit was fire.
Oh yeah. Well, you know I normally be like YouTube, what up? But I ain't gonna lie, bro. Like when I heard that track right there, I was like, man, me and the Ogre could do some shit like that for real, for real.
Mm-hmm. I ain't gonna front. Like I was over here, I'm just vibing to it. I was like, damn. I was like, I could make a whole song out of this shit here. But YouTube, how are y'all doing? It has been a little minute. I hope everybody is doing fantastic.
Nah, for real, for real. Oh man. What did I label this one? Yeah. Responsibilities and priorities. I mean, you know, YouTube for the most part, we kind of sort of gonna freestyle it, but we is gonna stay on like the subject too, you know what I'm saying, which is responsibilities and priorities, man. You know what I'm saying? Certain situations, and whether it be circumstances or whether it be individuals, you know what I'm saying, everybody doesn't necessarily have their responsibilities and their priorities like in line with each other, you know what I'm saying? And I say that to say this, you feel me? Damn, I don't want to give too much information, but let's just say your boy got one hand that's smaller than the other, right? I can meet this female, you know what I'm saying, spit game to or whatnot, but the whole time I had a hoodie on and I had my small hand inside my hoodie pocket. You know what I'm saying? So she only seen my good hand. She ain't see my small hand. You know what I'm saying? So I'm talking to her. We make plans. We link up, and it ain't until we actually link and we about to actually do something that I'm like, well, hold on. Let me show you my small hand. Or maybe I don't need tell her I got a small hand. Maybe she got to find out through one of my homeboys I got a small hand. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Hey, that'll be a shocking situation, boy. You over there laid up with somebody, and then they turn around and be like, "Wait, let me show you my small hand." Hey. But I get what you're saying, though. Like, nah, I mean, you should always be upfront about things like that and everything else.
Feel me? Like, just gotta be real with yourself, real with the situation, real with the individual. You know what I'm saying? Like, sometimes it's best to just come out gate, be like, yo, I got this small hand. You either gonna fuck with it or you ain't. But I'm giving you the choice to make your decision whether if you want to or not. I'm not just about to, you know what I'm saying, kind of finagle you into doing this, and then later on you might regret fucking with me because I got a small hand. Maybe you don't, but maybe you will, you know what I'm saying? Or the whole time I could have got the same genuine love from you if I just would have kept it real with you. Like, look, I got a small hand, you know what I'm saying? I get a little check for this bitch, but it's all good. You feel me? I'm still pimping.
Yeah. Straight like that. At the end of the day, like, you gotta be upfront with people. You can't sit there and just think people going to accept certain things or you gonna hide certain things. It's, because like I said, imagine dealing with somebody and they standing up the whole time you didn't seen them, and then out of nowhere they turn around and be like, well, yeah, you know what? I'm in a wheelchair. And it's like the first thing that pop in your head is like, well, damn, like, what the fuck was you doing standing up the whole time when I was looking at you and stuff like that? Now you sitting here questioning them about, well, why, you was doing this and doing that. And then, later on it comes out and tell them, well, hey, that's the only way I can get what's mine, or I can get me. And it's like, nah, gang, that ain't the right thing to do.
Real rap.
Manipulating people in order for you to benefit from that manipulation will never be something that will be looked upon as a good thing or something or a flex. I'm sorry. That's just a no-no in my book. It's the same way if you was sitting here, talking bad on somebody's name or whatever to get some buns, like, that make you look like a goofy, because that would mean that you technically can't get anything off of your own talk game. You have to use a common person, or you have to talk down about another person in order for you to get in where you fit in. And it's like, you don't necessarily you don't have to do that at all.
Real rap. It's real talk, though. Like, you don't have to throw anybody under the bus or throw salt on anybody's name to get you the way you want to go. You know what I'm saying? I mean, to each his own, and everybody gonna have a different path and a different way of doing things. But you know what I'm saying? Like, you don't have to do it that way.
Yeah, I mean, if anything, if you gonna do something like that, like he said, to each his own. But if you're not successful with it and you continue to keep doing it, you need to stop. Like, you absolutely just need to stop, hang it up, and find a new approach or something. Because it's one thing. It's one thing being broke, but it's another thing trying to deal with people and fuck with people when you are broke. Like, know what I mean? You gotta pick a struggle.
Rap. Feel me? And as far as the priorities go, especially once you become an adult, like the things we did as kids, that was cool, fine and dandy. We were young, we were dumb. But when you reach a certain age and a certain point, and especially at a certain time, you know what I'm saying? Like how you prioritize things in your life speak a lot of volumes for yourself, you know what I'm saying? It could be something as simple as spending time with your kids. If you don't
Mm-hmm.
prioritize actually putting that time in and putting that love in with your kids, you know what I'm saying? Like that'll fuck up your relationship. That'll fuck up the bond.
Yeah, I fully agree with that. You do have some people that will literally sit there and try to prioritize other things that aren't really important, that really don't matter, that can literally be putting off for, and just put it off when there's more important things out there that you need to be doing or prioritizing. And and same thing, like you said, like with kids and stuff like that, different people might have different situations, that's understandable. But realistically, if your situation is, if that shit can really wait and you can literally, try to do something with your kids or something. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't sit there and lollygag or be like, oh, well, I can wait or I could do this, because at the end of the day, time don't wait for nobody. And like my co-host said, you prioritizing unimportant things really does reflect your character as a person.
Real rap. So it's like, for instance, that's like me knowing that I have a job interview, but I say, bro, wake me up at such and such time so I can get ready for my job interview. Well, I already have kind of fucked up because the reality of the situation is 9 times out of 10, I got a phone. I can set my own alarm and already have the motivation within myself and the belief within myself that I can get up, get prepared, and get to this job interview and speak well enough, you know what I'm saying, and comprehend well enough to make a good impression on myself.
Mm-hmm.
Why am I trying to put that responsibility on you?
Exactly. And I really do feel like that most of the time when people do things like that, it's because deep down they know if they fail in some way, shape, or form and not get the job, they can always have they can always make that rational thought of, well, that person was supposed to wake me up, as their excuse to, why they didn't get or why they didn't obtain the thing that they want, without truly blaming themselves, which is another way of basically avoiding accountability.
Real rap. I tell you, you know what I'm saying, wake me up at a certain time so I can get up, get ready for my job interview. You wake me up, and instead of me getting up and getting ready, I just roll over and go back to sleep.
Mm-hmm. Now you sitting here, you didn't miss your job interview, and now you over there complaining because now you still ain't got no money in your pocket and shit like that. And and instead of you being like, well, it is my fault, I did roll over and go to sleep, even though this person might have had came in there and woke me up and such not. So, oh well, let me blame this person instead. Or blame the circumstances, or blame, oh, it was too early, or, some shit like that. Like, you do have a lot of people out here that literally avoid accountability by any means necessary just so they can't fix who they are deep down inside, or, on the outside, really, because they displaying who they are to everyone.
Real rap. I do all of that. And then, like you said, if I fail, I'm like, well, you woke me up, but you ain't make sure I got up.
Mm-hmm. Which is completely just, in my opinion, immature. Because, like you said, there was several different things you could have did to make sure you got up, even with you asking someone to make sure you got up. You could have went to sleep early. You could have set you at least two alarms on your phone. Like, now, I mean, you could have even got up to the point to where if you felt like, you know what, I can't really do this interview today. Let me call them and reschedule and see what they'll do. Like, now, I mean, it's a bunch of ways and things you could have literally did to avoid, you know, the failure or you not going to that job interview. But instead of that, you rather just prioritize, like, you know what, things ain't work out, you know, shit, it ain't my fault. You know what I mean? But realistically, it is because only person that stopped you from going was you.
Real rap. Real rap. I can't have my responsibilities and my priorities fucked up and then try to blame someone else for it. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, I
Yeah.
have to take accountability for that and look within myself. What am I not doing right? What am I doing wrong? What do I need to improve on?
hmm And don't get me wrong, it's a lot of people. Well, I'm not even going to front. Everybody starts out with not accepting accountability for their actions. Now, the one thing that I have come to terms with is that you're gonna go through life not accepting that accountability. But the thing is, messed up things will always keep happening to you until you learn that lesson of accountability. But the moment that you turn around and you take accountability for what you did and everything else, you turn around and you actually grow as a person, then life literally starts giving you everything that you asked for and everything that you wanted. Just because you took that one life lesson and learned from it and grew from it, really. Instead of claiming that you did, you actually learned from it and grew from it. And then life just start handing you things that you should always have.
Real rap. And
I
I
mean,
remember personally, me myself, it was upon a time in my life where seemed like, responsibilities were kind of overwhelming. You know what I'm saying? When you coming from that stage in life was like you used to being in high school, you know what I'm saying, you trying to transition from being a student to actually being in the real world, becoming an adult, you know what I'm saying, it could kind of seem overwhelming. But one thing I had to understand was accepting those responsibilities and accepting those priorities was is what I had to do. You know what I'm saying? When you accept it and you're okay with it, you know what I'm saying, that's what elevates you. That's what makes you a better person, a better man.
hmm every time. Because the whole purpose that people feel like, that they get wrong sometimes is that life is about experiences and learning and growing and actually, it's actually living. Like, now I mean, dedicating your time and all this other type stuff. Anything can be obtained with time and dedication. Anything can. Like, I can't stress that enough. If you feel like that you can be a super genius or you can be whatever the case, whatever you put your mind to, you can actually obtain it if you give it time. But the thing is, you have to realize in order for you to even get those things, you have to experience life and you have to learn from the life lessons that come along across the way. And if you don't, you won't grow as a person and you really truly won't see the full potential that yourself can actually be.
Real rap. In order
I
to
mean,
grow, yeah, we must make mistakes, but like I said, you also have to be accountable. You have to be able to accept certain things. You know what I'm saying? Uh, None of us is perfect, so trying to have like expectations for perfection is kind of unreal. But at the same time, just be real with yourself. You know what I'm saying? That's
hmm
how it really start. Be real with yourself. So if you overwhelm yourself with too many responsibilities, you have to be able to look in the mirror and tell yourself, like, hold on, you might got too much going on right now. You know what I'm saying? It might be certain things you got to draw back from so you could focus and put more time into this and put more time into that, which is getting your priorities straight.
Slow and steady wins the race every time. I mean, and that can go for anything, really, when you really look at it. Because me personally, I done went through life and such not, and I have discovered things about myself that, I used to fail epically at. I mean, and I realized that, at one point in time, I realized that deep down, I was a people pleaser. Like I always looked to please somebody and everything else, but I never actually wanted, I never actually got what I deserved or what I wanted and everything else, which led me to have like multiple relationships where the relationship was completely one-sided because that person truly didn't have to do anything. And because of that, it was like I was pretty much drowning in, unfairness, basically. Like I would have problems and all this other type stuff in relationships, and I didn't know what it was. But deep down, it was because the relationship was because I was pouring way too much into somebody, and they weren't pouring anything into me.
Right. No, I get what you're saying. You wasn't prioritizing yourself in that situation.
It would always be me prioritizing them instead of, me prioritizing myself, which would cause them to prioritize me, like I would prioritize them.
Real rap.
It took me. I mean, I've been dating and pretty much being in relationships since I was pretty much like 12. So it took me to about, I don't know, I guess almost 30, 31, I guess, to learn that, and once I learned that, everything just seemed like it just worked out for the best for me, for real, for real. Like you're never too old to learn something new, and it's never too late either. So, when it comes down to things like that, you just have to, accept it for what it is and everything else. Because the moment that you don't is the moment that, you get taken advantage of. You start losing yourself. You don't know who you are. People literally start taking advantage of that and everything else like that. And you literally find yourself in a depressive state where you feel like everybody is the same. When in actuality, it was just you not, prioritizing yourself, which is accepting that, and because of that, you avoided accountability for what you did wrong. And you thought that, other people did things wrong to you, which they probably did, but you didn't take the accountability and and point out what you did, what was wrong.
Real talk. I'm saying. And that type of situation, you know what I'm saying, a lot of the time you'll see people crash out, you'll see people self-destruct. But like you said, you could take that accountability, you can get to the point where you're not just pointing the finger at others, but you say, you know what, maybe it's me. You know what I'm saying? Then you on to something.
Yep, you'll become a real different person. Because now you can sit here in your situation, actually learn from something and grow from it instead of dwelling on it and harboring it for years and years and never really truly learning your lesson. Because you do have people out here that will literally think that they're not the problem. And because of that, their life literally spirals out of control and they just blame everybody else but themselves and everything else.
And I've been there too, though, you know what I'm saying? Situation, relationship where, you know what I'm saying, I didn't quite prioritize me being happy, trying to make, you know what I'm saying, another person happy, trying to, like you said, being a people pleaser. And like, oftentimes you end up losing yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? For a while, you know what I'm saying, I didn't like who I was, and I had to find me again. You know what I'm saying? In a sense, redefine who I was, but at the same time, remember who I was and what I like, what I love, what I hate.
Yep. And that's the best way. Once you redefine yourself and everything else and you start taking accountability, life just becomes way more easier and way more simple. And and I done said it, countless times before. When it comes down to things in life, you always want to work smarter, not harder. Because if you work harder, you're gonna stress yourself out. And if you stress yourself out, you're gonna it's gonna be times where the the mindset of giving up will literally seem way better than going through the hard times and such, not like that. And then you end up basically just giving up on whatever it is that you want or whatever it is that you're trying to accomplish and things like that. But you just gotta work smarter, not harder.
Real rap. You know what I'm saying? That accountability word, but that's big, you know what I'm saying? Because you gotta understand that you're responsible for what happened to you in a lot of those situations. You know what I'm saying? You do tend to want to blame other people, and sometimes just depending on how the situation went, you might even have like a hatred towards that individual. But what
Mhm.
I've realized is sometimes it is best to just understand you played a part and you had certain things to do with it. You know what I'm saying? You were responsible for what happened to you.
Mhm. Because at the end of the day, regardless of how anyone may feel, I mean, whatever your situation was, there was always signs there, but you chose to ignore it. And that's one thing that I can say a lot of people end up doing, and I'm one of them people, is that a person will literally show you things that you will question, but then you'll just brush it off and be like, well, you know what? Well, I ain't gonna stress it. I'm just tripping and stuff like that. When then, but whole time you were right. Whatever you seen or whatever you experienced or witnessed, it was correct. And the reaction that you should have gave that person right then and there should have been given right then and there. But later on, the first thing to come out your mouth when something happens is like, "Oh, I knew it. I knew it was too good to be true." And you would be correct. You you would be absolutely correct because you seen it. You seen it beforehand. You just didn't do nothing. Instead, you just you turn around and just accepted it or whatever, or brushed it off, and now you sitting here acting surprised 8 months later, and it's like, how? You can't really, I call them artificial situations because, truth be told, you created that situation by ignoring it when you knew exactly what it was and what was going to happen. I mean, the signs were right there, and you just ignored them because you just thought you were either tripping or you wasn't gonna pay it no mind and everything else. And that's what a lot of people basically end up doing for real, is just ignoring things when they shouldn't.
Nah, real rap. You got a very valid point. You know what I'm saying? That's like how the old saying goes. You know what I'm saying? Just sweep it under the rug. But
Hmm.
a lot of times people don't realize is when you just continue to sweep things under the rug, it's still dirty. The problem is still there. You know what I'm saying? You didn't clean anything up, so it's still going to be filthy and nasty up under the rug. You know what I'm saying? So
Hmm.
this same rug that's supposed to be there for you to walk on to be soft, you can walk on and end up breaking your foot.
Yep, sure is, because you done sat there and you done swept rocks and dirt and everything else. Now, when you step on it, you see fucking dirt clouds come from underneath it, and it's damn near the shit's be choking you to death and shit. So now you sitting there looking like, well, I don't understand why this is. It's like, yeah, you do. You just choosing to ignore it now, or you choosing to forget when, truth be told, you seen it. You knew what happened. Like, there ain't no doubt in my mind. Like, And like I said, those really be artificial situations, because whether you choose to deal with it or whatever the case may be, is you still knew about what was going on before it went on, and you just kept going. Like, you have some people out here that literally be in relationships for years or months or whatever the case is, and this person will display signs of things that were very questionable, but they chose to ignore it, or they chose to let somebody basically, talk them out of, using their logical thinking. And because of that, they end up basically acting like they're surprised or, shocked when certain things come about. And it's like, what's the point of you acting shocked and things like that when you already knew? Like, this person cheated. This person right here would have phone calls and would go outside and have conversations and stuff like that instead of in front of you. I mean, that's not a red flag to you.
Right.
Like, know what I mean? Like, obviously that person is talking to a whole nother individual. Then 8 months to a year later, when you catch them cheating and stuff like that with a woman in your bed, you trying to act surprised, like, oh my God, how could he do this to me? And it's like, well, you knew he was going to do this to you because because he used to go outside and talk on the phone. And then, during that time, that's where you need to accept that accountability and realize, you know what? I seen what he was doing, but I chose to ignore it. Or I seen what she was doing and I chose to ignore it. Like, like, not gonna get nowhere in life, goddamn, trying to avoid that accountability for you not basically paying attention, even though you were paying attention and everything else. Like, you're not gonna get nowhere. You're gonna constantly keep going through life blaming others for basically you not doing what you were supposed to do logically as a human being. And that's just, to me, that's just crazy, because you're not gonna get nowhere. You're gonna forever be that type of person that's in denial. Like, you got people out here right now that'll sit here and classify a whole gender or whatever the case may be is as someone as not being politically correct or being ain't shit or something like that, just because they chose to deal with somebody that was typically ain't shit, and they rather just sit there and blame everybody else but that particular person and them and themselves for ignoring those red flags.
No, real
And
rap.
and it's sad, really. You gonna classify a whole gender of people because you personally chose to ignore the fact that that man was cheating on you, or that man was playing you, or that woman was playing you and cheating on you. You're gonna classify a whole gender of people being ain't shit because of your choices and who you attracted. Like, come on now. Nah. Accept that accountability for what it is and stop avoiding it.
Real rap, brother. Because now that you say that, it's making me say this. It's also your responsibility to make sure that you heal. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
It's really no one else's responsibility. You know what I'm saying? You have to care enough about yourself and prioritize yourself enough to say, you know what? I might have to distance myself from this. I might not need to go out to the club. I might not need to go out and try to hang out with my friends all the time because I need to heal. I need to work on myself. You know what I'm saying? Be real enough with yourself to understand that, you're going to take some injuries. You know what I'm saying? You might get cut. You got to heal from that before you can move on to something else sometimes.
Mm-hmm. You're going to have to. Because if you don't, like I said, you're just going to keep going through life blaming others for something that you chose to ignore. And it's like, what's the point of you just sitting there ignoring something when you knew deep down what it was? Like, it's literally no point. Like, how do you expect to grow as a person if you just turn around and you just ignore everything and just be like, well, it's their fault. It ain't mine. Like, nah, you ain't gonna get nowhere in life. Like, you literally just gonna sit there and just blame everybody else for something that you chose to do. and honestly, it's not the right thing to do. Like,
Real.
I'm not gonna front to you. Like that whole, oh, I'm gonna blame everybody else but myself, even though I'm the only person in charge of ignoring things and not, saying nothing about it is like it's childish because now you in a predicament to where you can't grow as a person because you refuse to acknowledge the things that were right there in front of
Real rap.
you. And that's just, to me, that's just bonkers. For real, for real.
Just like I said, and I repeat it again. Just be honest with yourself.
Hmm.
I mean,
The
that's
moment
like.
you do that,
You go ahead.
oh, well, the moment you do that, you'll be all right.
But that's that's like being. I don't know. It's like being a crackhead
Yeah.
and knowing that all right on a daily basis, in order for you to feel all right and feel like you operating at your optimal level, you have to spend anywhere from $50 to $80 on your drug. All right,
Hmm.
you have to be honest with yourself about that, and then you also have to be honest enough with yourself to understand that if that doesn't happen, it's nobody's fault but yours. Because ultimately, nobody really put a gun to you and force you to do what you do.
Yep, that is true. You can't sit there and like think, oh well, I don't need to do this or I don't need to do that. And when you got a habit, like that's just stupid. If you can't afford to have it, then you shit. It's no point in you getting mad or upset that you can't, get what you want. It's completely pointless. It's a waste of energy that you could be taking and doing something else with.
So it's
It's-
your responsibility, and you have to prioritize this as well. But to be successful, to make sure that you win, yeah, that's your responsibility. A lot of times, there's people out here that be trying to depend on other individuals, or thinking I'm in this relationship with this girl, so I'm winning. She making me happy. She make me feel love. But it's also your responsibility to show yourself what love is. To saying take the proper steps and prioritize, put things in order for you to be successful. You know what I'm saying? Stop trying to depend on what you think someone else should do. You know what I'm saying? Because that's ultimately, like I said, that's your responsibility. Whatever goals and stuff you have, in order for you to execute it, you have to take like I said, the first proper step, make a plan, stick to the plan. And if you don't, then you have to be okay with failing and learning that lesson from failing. But you must understand that at the same time, all of this was really your responsibility.
mhm. The same thing. And matter of fact, speaking on love too, like I deep down, I really feel like that if an individual can't love themselves, they are physically incapable of loving someone else because it all starts with you first. And unless you know how it feels to reciprocate or to show love to somebody, you can never fully truly love somebody or tell somebody that you love them and everything else because you don't know what that is because it's foreign to you because you ain't even done the work yet to love yourself. A lot of people might disagree with me and everything else, but realistically, nothing can exist without something happening first. I mean, that's literally the laws of our universe. Something always has to happen first before anything. Nothing, yeah, it might be nothing there, but something always has to happen. I mean, it said in the book, like, hey, there was nothing, and then something happened. So now I mean, at the end of the day, nothing can sit there. Nothing can happen because something has to. You feel me?
So
reciprocation, all of that has to happen in order for you to understand what love is. Like, and in order for that to happen, you got to love yourself first. You can't love somebody and then not know how to, and not love yourself. It's just physically impossible. You can sit there until your face turn blue, like, oh, I love my girlfriend. I love this. I love that. I love my kids this. I love my kids that. How? You have to love yourself first. And if you ain't really truly done that work that you really need to do as a person, because everyone has traumas, everyone has issues that they, put in the back of their mind and haven't really truly embraced. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't sit there and just be like, oh, well, I do love myself and everything else, because you don't, because you then took whatever trauma you had and put it in the back of your head and haven't healed from it. I mean, no matter what it is, big or small, it's still a wound, and all wounds need to be healed.
Right. Real talk. Some might take longer than others to heal, but that's absolutely true. Every wound needs to heal.
Exactly, for it to properly be able to, be fixed again. Because who the hell wants to be in a relationship with somebody for 20 odd years, and then out of nowhere you have a PTSD moment of, I don't know, something that happened to you when you was 12, and then you lash out and you end up basically getting a divorce and destroying your whole family, all because you didn't take that time to heal that one wound that you kept avoiding to heal. Like, it literally makes no sense.
No, a real rap though. Some people, like I said, some people will continuously put themselves in situations for them to get hurt and repeat it over and over again. You know what I'm saying? But it is your responsibility once again to be able to self-analyze and, you know what I'm saying, accept the accountability and say, you know what, I need to prioritize differently. I need to do this, that, and the third so I could come up out of this. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. Because I know a couple of people right now that sit here and they'll sit here and claim something and all this other type shit, but it's people that sit here that used to claim something and just don't claim it no more. It's it's reasons behind certain things. And it's like people just don't never really sit around and just be like, well, I wonder why this person don't do this or this person don't do that no more. And it's like, because that person came to terms with something, they grew from it and they left it alone. Like it's supposed to. Like, prime example. I mean, I know people right now to this very day that still rep my old neighborhood. That's cool. That's fine. Matter of fact, no, it's not cool. It's not fine and it's not dandy. I mean, I'm going to just tell you straight up. I mean, it's people that was out there in the streets every day in that neighborhood that don't rep that neighborhood no more. I mean, it's a reason why. They might have just put it in the back of their head, but I'm going to keep it 100 with you. I stopped repping my neighborhood just from the simple fact that, one, if you ain't from this, how I see it. If you not from, if you claim you a part of my neighborhood and everything else, you was never really outside if you ain't never encountered the goddamn lady with the gray face and black hair. You not from my neighborhood. If you ain't never encountered that lady, you are not from my neighborhood. And if you did encounter her, you would not be repping my neighborhood like you claim you are. Because I know the three main people I know have encountered this lady. And maybe a couple other people maybe encountered her too, but probably put it in the back of their head. But I'm not about to rep no neighborhood where goddamn you got motherfuckers trying to go home and shit like that, and then they see a creepy ass gray faced lady with black hair standing on the side of their house calling them or some shit like that. Like, nigga, you tripping. Like, I hate it because it's like, like people talk about, yeah, Southgate this and Southgate that. And it's like, bro, if you knew anything about Southgate, you would not be repping that shit. I know you weren't outside. I know you wasn't. You was in the house. You was in the house with the street light before the street light came on. I know you don't know what the hell be going on. And you over here repping that shit like that. Like, come on now. And I ain't knocking nobody because realistically, I mean, you probably do have some people that rep it and probably got traumatized by the situation and just put it in the back of their head. But realistically, you need to face that trauma and realize, hey, you know what? Maybe I shouldn't be repping my neighborhood like that because my neighborhood has some fucked up things going on in it. Like that, I mean,
Real rap.
like I don't know. I might make me a post too later on too. I might because people just sometimes people just don't, they don't know what's up. Sometimes I'm gonna make me a post later on and tell people you ain't from Southgate. You ain't never seen the gray faced lady with the black hair that will call you or scare you while you going home at night.
Some people be so ready to represent something, they'll rep anything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that jump be crazy. You got people out here that they just be saying things and don't know why they saying it. They just feel like, yeah, I could say this, and it's like, well, look, you gotta realize there was people before you doing it. Why you think them people stopped doing it?
So there was a time and a moment, you know what I'm saying? And that time is up.
Mm-hmm.
Like what we was talking about earlier, you know what I'm saying? Elevation. Sometimes you gotta elevate your mind.
Yeah, you gotta elevate your mind sometimes. I mean, and the one thing I can say, I mean, I don't care what people's beliefs are or whatever the case may be is, and everything else. But one thing about it, and two things for sure, everybody not seeing the same shit and experiencing the same shit, and the shit not be real. I'm just saying, like it's physically no way. I don't care what nobody say. Ain't no way everybody seeing or experiencing the same thing and then the shit not be real. It's just it's unfathomable.
Nah,
But
bro,
yeah.
he ain't lying either. Cause real talk, like you ever walking in the neighborhood by yourself at nighttime, man, you just get a real eerie feeling like something watching you.
Mm-hmm. Watching every step you make too, boy. That's why shit. If you ever went home, if you was ever in the group of people and people went home, people would go home in pairs. If you went home, matter of fact, if you went home and it was just two of y'all would make sure that whatever way that y'all went, you could be able to see that person get all the way home safely while you get all the way home too. I remember when we was younger, we used to sit there and we'll come through the path or whatever and stuff like that. And next thing you know, like, and it's crazy when I sit here and think about it, because every time we went through that path at night, we could be in the middle of conversation. And the moment that we get through that path, everybody stop talking. Everybody stop talking, or people start whispering and shit like that, so they can make sure they hear everything. And as kids, you sitting there, you doing these things, when you look back at it, you wondering like, well, damn, why I did that thing? And it's like, bro, because everybody got that same feeling at the same time, and they had to be quiet just so they could see or hear. You know what I mean?
Real talk. Said being in tune with your senses, but yeah.
Mm-hmm. Be in tune with your senses. Because I could tell you for sure. Goddamn, if you walking through Southgate and motherfuckers see you, the first thing they do, if you see a motherfucker at night, they already look scared as shit. Already scared as shit. They probably could have had the time of their life, but I promise you, the moment that they buy themselves in Southgate and they trying to go home, and you walk up on them, the motherfuckers scared as hell, like, oh shit. all right, oh, it's just you. Like, now I mean, why, motherfucker, ain't everybody ain't in that bitch scared for no reason? Like, nah, I mean,
And at nighttime, they would tell us, you know what I'm saying, if we was out past the street lights, you know what I'm saying, then to walk in pairs, you know what I'm saying, try to be in pairs, like you said. So,
mm-hmm. Like, that shit just be crazy. But you know, you can't tell everybody everything sometimes. Like people just sometimes just don't want to face that reality or whatever the case may be. But hey, to me it is what it is. But you know, if y'all gonna rep something, at least, you know, find out why the other people before you stop doing it. They see it.
so you got a valid point though, because it was a few generations before us, but like you said,
Mm-hmm.
you don't see them doing that.
Nope. Probably might occasionally see a nigga sit here and talk about some, yeah, we grew up, we used to run, yeah, Southgate did, but them niggas not really repping that. They'll sit there and look at you like, oh, you from Southgate? All right, Southgate, smile, and then go right back to doing what they doing. Like, it ain't no way, boy. You
Real
can tell
talk.
me this. But yeah, it's all about accepting things for what it is, or taking accountability and stuff like that, and just, you know, learning and growing as a person and everything else like that. Like, you know, a lot of people don't sit there and, you know, do that, and they end up basically hindering themselves from personal growth. And because of the lack of their personal growth, they pretty much, you know, sometimes they take things out on other people or whatever the case may be is, or because of their lack of personal growth, they feel like, oh well, I knew him when he was like 14. He probably still that type of person at the age that he is now. When truth be told, that's not the case, because everyone is destined to grow. But you know, it's up to you to choose that growth or not.
Real. Like I said, to each his own. We all have our own different experiences, but the lessons that you learn from going through whatever it was you went through, that's what defines you. You know what I'm saying? And either you can
Mm-hmm.
let that be a burden and let that be dead weight and hold you down, or you could be honest and accountable for whatever actions you did and move on. You know what I'm saying? Every action has a reaction, but it's up to you how you react.
Mm-hmm. It sure is. And then that's another thing, and also too, please letting this be known that if you was a type of person that think you know people to a degree where you feel like you can piece out their reactions, please rethink whatever situation you might be in or situations in life. Because the same way a person can do something out of emotion because their feelings are hurt, or they might be angry or whatever the case may be is, another person can do the same thing. And another person, and truth be told, a person could not do the same thing. But the thing is, you don't know because you are not that person. At the end of the day, if you'll crash out on something, somebody else might crash out too on something way bigger than that or way smaller than that. Because no one really truly knows a person's mental or what they're going through when certain situations, you know, pop up and everything else like that. I mean, recently, like a week ago, there was an incident that happened that, you know, I laughed at because I knew it wasn't true. But there was other people that were brought up in the situation, and I don't know, those people might be different from me because, you know, I'm more of a logical person. I'm gonna go to you and ask you, you know, why you say this and who told you to say it or where's your proof? You know what I mean? I'm gonna laugh at it because it's funny. Like, because to say some shit like that is just, you know, outlandish and funny. But you know, I'm gonna take it. You know, I'm gonna take that joke or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Because I know I can get you back, so it don't matter. But other people in that situation, they whole lives could have been ruined right then and there because they care about what people say. I'm the type of person I really don't care. I don't care what people have to say if it ain't true. You feel me? So, you can't, those people right there, those people are different from me. I can control my reactions because I'm a logical person. Those people might not be able to control their reactions and they might crash out. That's why I say, you can't really sit there and be like, oh, a person won't do this or a person won't do that because you don't know how a person gonna act. You might think one way, they might do something completely different. So it's like, well, you can't really, you got people out here that are like, they'll kill you over a gallon of milk just because you picked it up at the stove and they was about to reach for it. Like, you don't know what the hell somebody got. You don't know what the hell people are capable of nowadays. Because, everybody different.
Well, not real. Like you say, you don't know what other people going through, and sometimes you really don't know what they capable of. You know what I'm saying? Rest in peace to them, man. But hey,
Mm-hmm.
Rocky would say every once in a while, man. That same nigga you think is a pussy would be the same pussy nigga that kill your ass.
Mm-hmm. You damn sure did used to say that. That's why I don't put nothing past nobody nowadays. The only thing I do is control my reactions and how I react. And if I feel like you're gonna react a certain type of way or whatever the case may be I make sure I pay it beforehand. But like you said, a person will kill you out of fear before they kill you out of anger and shit like that. You know what I mean? But then again, a person to kill you for anything. Well, unalive, you're one. You know what I'm saying? Just from the simple fact, like, what you might not feel is a big deal, they might consider a big deal.
No, that's real rap though, because everybody does have different morals, different values, and different principles.
Mm-hmm. Because you can sit there and say something like I don't know, you can sit here and say that person, that person is homosexual. I mean, to one person, that person might laugh that shit off and just be like, haha, yeah, right. Where's your proof? Prove it. Da, da, da. But another person might be like, because of their beliefs, they'd be like, what the fuck? Like, I'll kill you. Da, 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 da. And then they end up doing some shit to you. Like now you got two people that then basically lost their lives all because one person thought that they could say or do something and they thought they knew how a person would react. When that's not the case. Like no one knows how a person is going to react to something based off of beliefs or whatever the case may be.
Right. And in that case, you know what I'm saying, there was one action leading to a reaction.
Mm-hmm. Only person that know anything, only person that ever to exist to know what would happen after a action is the man upstairs. That's the only man. That's the only person that knew that. Oh, if I do this, this will cause this reaction right here. That was the only man who will ever know what a reaction will do to any and everything. No one else, and that's facts.
Real talk. You know what I mean, gotta look at it like this. It's your responsibility to pray for the best. Be prepared for the worst.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, sometimes you might not get the best, and sometimes it might not be the worst. But you have to factor that in that anything can happen at any given time. Anybody can be a wild card.
Right.
Anything can be a wild card.
Pray for the best. Be prepared for the worst. If you already prepared for what's the worst that could happen, then in a way mentally you've already kind of won.
Mm-hmm. Because you already prepared and everything else. me personally, you know, when it comes down to certain things and everything, I try my best to prepare for things. Like, I know for a fact you can't be prepared for everything, but you can attempt to try to be. You feel me?
Yep.
So, I mean, because me, you know, at the end of the day, I mean, shit, to me, I don't have any enemies because I don't put myself in situations to where I would have any. Now, if somebody was like, oh, yeah, he's my enemy this, he's my enemy that, my logical thought is how? How can you have a one-sided beef with nobody when the other person don't even know y'all beef? Like, you know, or you hating on, or you know, or I'm hating on you, or whatever the case may be, is when I don't even know what you have. Like that, I mean, like I can't be a hater outside of the club. Especially, no matter of fact, I can't be a hater outside of a club when I don't club.
Real rap.
Like that's the most realest shit I can tell you. Like I can't be a hater outside of the club because I don't club. I'm at home. So how can I be a hater? Like I just think that you know, some people's views on certain things kind of be like delusional. You know what I'm saying? Like they just like I don't like. That's why I say like a lot of people, when it comes down to their mindsets about certain individuals, they literally might think a person is this type of way based off of outdated information. And it's like, well, that person, I mean, I don't know about, you know, you, but I mean, I would hope that people would change, you know, until they show me otherwise. But, you know, if that person's not there to show you, then why would you ever assume that, yeah, that person's still the same and all this other type shit? Like, know what I mean? Like, I got a bunch of homeboys that, you know, I would sit there and think, yeah, they changed, you know. Sometimes they change for the good and sometimes they change for the bad. But I don't never look at them as like, oh, they still that person from when we were 12 or 13 or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, because everyone grows and shit like that. Everybody changes.
Real rap.
Now, if you the type of person that don't like to change and grow, and you constantly, you know, reminiscing about, you know, the good old days, then honestly, to me, that just like I don't know. Like to me, you really don't have a whole lot of things going on because it seemed like those were your glory years, and now these years are pretty much like the lost ones because you really don't have nothing to look forward to, type shit.
Real rap. I was gonna say something else, but it done slipped my mind, so I ain't even gonna worry about it. YouTube, I ain't gonna hold y'all though. I ain't gonna keep y'all too long. Guess we're gonna cut this one kind of short, but goddamn, like I always say, there was some jewels of knowledge within what we were saying. You know what I'm saying? Don't be no sucker ducky, quack quack, sucker ass nigga. You know what I'm saying? Just get your responsibilities, your priorities together. You know what I'm saying? And be accountable for your actions. You know what I'm saying? Your actions and also your reactions.
Mm-hmm. And never put nothing past nobody because you don't know what people are capable of doing.
Real talk. Till the next episode of the pod, man. You already know. Y'all be safe. Everybody be blessed out there.
Mm-hmm. And we gonna see you next time.
Ready. Love, gang.
Love, gang.